Hello everyone, I'm Connor from Project Heroes and welcome to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. It has definitely been a while since we've played, and I know this is kind of an unplanned recording session because originally I was going to do XCOM only to find out that I'm still having issues getting getting OBS to capture XCOM. So XCOM is still on a hiatus and I figured it would be fun to go back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, right back to where we started this whole YouTube channel. It has definitely been a while. So I figured we'd do a new campaign. They just had a major update for the game, which added in a lot of new different hull types, including a three-mast cruiser. Um, and I think I'm going to do this campaign a little bit differently. I think we're going to play as the German Empire starting year 1890, which is where I normally like to start because I like starting bare bones with anything that involves a research tree. Um, and on top of that, so this is going to be fairly similar to the initial campaign. Of course, I have gotten a lot more experience with my video editing since those first few videos on this channel where we did the French campaign, which we never finished and it didn't last very long. This video is going to be probably a bit different from the future ones. I'm thinking of maybe doing something kind of similar to what other YouTubers do and have an opening kind of roleplay scene. That's not going to happen with this video because I need to get this video out this morning. Edited and out this morning. I don't know, that might change. But pretty much we're going to start in the year 1890. Difficulty normal, because if I turn that up at all, the AI is going to pump out ships like no tomorrow. Historical AI opponents, we're going to auto-generate the fleet with the idea that we are now here to clean up the mess of our predecessor. And AI shared design selective. Yeah, so pretty much since we last played, there was an option added to the game for those who don't know that pretty much you can design your own ships in the there's an option that you can just go and design ships and save them into the game, and then you can play the campaigns and those designs can show up at least at the very beginning. Assuming that the ship you design matches the game's starting year. But anyways, so yes, the German Empire was formed in 1871 after the unification of German states and is administered by Kaiser Wilhelm II, an ambitious leader with an extreme interest in naval warfare. The Kaiser is English. The Kaiser is eager to build a fleet strong enough to threaten the naval supremacy of the British Empire and expand the German colonies around the world. The rapid industrial and population growth of the German homeland pushes naturally to an aggressive policy which concerns the other powers, in combination with the Kaiser's monarchic rulership. That's a difficult phrase for me to say. It makes diplomatic relations difficult, except maybe with Austro-Hungary or Italy, which appear to share similar motives. Take a sip of my cola. Alright, so, and we are going to feed into those ambitions. Pretty much our goal for this campaign, we are going to start in empty slot 1, because now I can actually save multiple campaigns. That's actually been a feature that's been in the game for a while, but it wasn't in I don't recall it being in the game when we last did a campaign. Yeah, we're going to feed into those colonial ambitions. We are going to... I want to say we're going to restore the Holy Roman Empire, but that requires us going... Yeah, I will need to look up what provinces in game I would need, because I'm mostly basing that off of the Hearts of Iron 4's Holy Roman Empire path with the German Reich, where you go monarchist, and there's a lot of BS that you have to do to go down that path. I've come close, but I haven't gotten it yet. I do have a game running that, as Germany, that will possibly allow me to get the Holy Roman Empire. But I also suck at Hearts of Iron, so, it's kind of hit or miss. It's probably the best I've done recently. The new update's been made getting equipment a hell of a lot easier, because you can just buy it. Alright, here we are. Let's take a look at our current situation. If I can do English, I don't have this many issues in War Thunder, but I have this many issues when I do anything else. So, right now we are a constitutional monarchy. Nice. 17 provinces, army logistics. Ooh. We don't have a very large army compared to, say, oh my god, China is beefy. Okay, I take that back. It's an army. Why is China's army so large? Almost 1 million army forces. They have the largest army. You know what? That doesn't, it's China. What do I expect? What else do I expect from them? We have a fairly large army budget. Actually, it's like third largest from what I can tell. Navy budget is also pretty beefy. Our growth is fairly good. 9.512%. That is growth for our GDP. Somebody is... Oh, it is... I'm being messaged. On top of that, our population, it's good enough for what we're doing. Do we have any oil? We don't have any oil. That's... yeah. Sorry, I'm being messaged about stuff. So, who do we want to eventually fight first? In the meantime, let's actually go and look at our research. Where are we at? Hull strengthening, new structural steel. So, I'm not going to do the whole run through of this, because I think if I recall correctly, we did this once, even though that was early on. If you guys want me to do a full walkthrough of what we are looking at here, let me know down in the description below, down in the comment section below. I keep saying description. Just leave a comment saying that you want to see that, and I can do that in a separate video. But for now, Coincidence Rangefinder is actually going to be very good, especially early on, because our ships... When I design ships, we're probably going to go with, because I suck at controlling multiple ships at once, we are going to go with armor quality, rangefinders, and explosives have 2 months left, so I'm not going to bother putting anything extra into them. Boilers will be nice, because boiler weight is something that is going to be difficult to manage early on. And hull strengthening might be something we look into. We'll finish up boilers, and then we'll go into hull strengthening, I think. But when I design ships, I designed them to be able to take a beating while still being effective, because I find it very difficult to control large fleets of ships personally. I could probably only manage about 6 ships at once. Assuming that, unless they're like torpedo boats and I'm like trying to death charge about 9 of them into one target. But I find them to be, when I'm designing battleships, I might have like 3 battleships in a battle group along with a few cruisers, and just kind of try my best, or at least I'll keep all my screening ships back while the battleship goes in and does work. So my battleships tend to get in pretty close. So lots of armor, lots of firepower, and the ability to hit your targets pretty quickly. Because if we don't do that, if we don't hit our targets, we are going to get screwed over, which we don't want, especially as Germany. Now, all these were designed in the year 1887. This is a familiar heavy cruiser design. This looks like something I would have designed while playing the French, which is fair enough. Yeah. The battleship doesn't look bad. How quick are you? You are 20.5 knots. Wow, you are one fast battleship for this year. 12-inch guns and 11-inch. Let's take a closer look at this thing. There needs to be something wrong with this. Maximum bulkheads, spacious quarters. Your engine efficiency is absolute garbage. So that's part one of that. How thick is your armor? You are, yeah, 7-inch main belt. There's your problem. This is a early version of what we would call a fast battleship. It's absolutely disgusting. We're going to design a new one. We're probably also, I should have stayed on that menu. We're probably also going to design new ships for everything, and I'll probably do that off camera here. Light cruiser, yeah, the battleship's faster than the light cruiser. That's a problem, and the heavy cruiser. And then the torpedo boat's a torpedo boat, and I'm probably not going to do anything about that because they're expendable anyway. Yeah, so the cruisers definitely need to be redesigned because at 1890, I want them to be going at least 20 to 22 knots. Whereas the battleship, I'm okay with only going 18 or 16. Because, I don't need them to run away. I need them to have a lot of armor and pack a hell of a punch. So, we are going to design new ships, and I will be back with you guys when I've come up with either a predicament, or B, something interesting, and Germany doesn't have the 3-mast cruiser. Maybe that's something we'll eventually. Maybe that's either something that's outdated or something we'll unlock pretty quickly. I hope it's something we'll unlock. I want to use the triple mast cruiser. Doing the armor scheme first, I have realized that it's only going to let me do an armor belt of 10 inches. I do not know what determines that, but apparently there's something that limits me to a 10-inch belt, which is a shame because normally I do 12-inch belts. Now, the question is, can I do what's better? That? Yeah, that's pretty good. I have done this wrong. This will be the North Star class of battleship. Save that design. So that is the North Star. Now we will do a new design, and I will design the cruisers, and I will be right back. Alright, welcome back, guys. We have finished our cruiser designs. So we got the Königsberg, which is a cruiser that has a lot of small guns. And on top of that, we have torpedoes. We have underwater torpedo tubes in the bow, the stern, and the port and starboard sides of the ship. This is our large torpedo ship, so to speak. This is our torpedo cruiser. Kind of what's going to fill the gap for something that's larger than a torpedo boat, but isn't as large as, say, a heavy cruiser. This is probably what we're mainly going to use for torpedo runs against other ships when we don't have the torpedo boats around. This is exactly what this thing's built for. It goes 22 knots, so it should be able to outpace most things. Maximum bulkhead, so if we do get hit, we're not going to sink immediately. Cramped crew quarters, which I think all three of these ships that we've designed have. Kind of needed to. Our engine efficiency is still crap because, 1890 funnel, natural boilers, coal, steam, basic steam engines. Yeah, it's just not a great combination. But we do have the compound armor. We don't have a whole lot of armor. We only have a 2-inch main belt, so we'll see how effective these ships really are. I don't have high hopes for them. I think we're going to initially build a couple of them, maybe like 4 of them, send them on a trial run in our first conflict zone, but I don't expect to build too many of these, and because we're probably going to get something better before then anyway. 15-inch torpedoes, all that fun stuff. Deck armor isn't very high because, we're going to be in close. Not going to have to worry about that anyway. 5-inch turrets, 2 5-inch turrets, 4-inch turrets, and then 4 3-inch guns mounted in the casemate slots. So, should be a whole lot of fun. They all have enhanced reloading. This thing is kind of dual purpose. So like I said, torpedo ship, but at the same time could also be a convoy raider as well. I suppose it does have a 5,000 kilometer range, so which is good enough for our local territory. Then we also have the heavy cruiser Victoria. This is kind of my version of a pocket battleship. Early on, it has 6 inches of armor, so this is good for fighting cruisers and torpedo boats. Probably won't stand toe to toe against the battleship, sadly. I have built heavy cruisers that have been able to do that, but it would have to be a pretty crappy battleship. But we have a 3-inch fore and aft belt, all that fun stuff. 5.5 inches of deck armor because I don't expect to get penned in my deck armor. We have 2 dual 8-inch guns, a four 4-inch turrets. Then all the casemates are filled with 4-inch guns. I think there are 6 on each side. And then we have a whole host of 2-inch guns lining this thing to deal with torpedo boats and smaller ships and all that fun stuff. This ship also goes 20 knots, so has less range than our light cruisers, but this ship is mostly meant for just supporting the battleships against other cruisers and smaller ships. The battleships are what's supposed to do the heavy lifting. This thing, with its 8-inch guns, can sort of stand up against smaller battleships and other heavy cruisers, so hopefully it works out. But there's only one way of finding out, comparing that to this thing, which I believe only has 5-inch guns. 6.2-inch guns for the main caliber. Yeah, those aren't very impressive. Yeah, this is not a ship that I want to keep around. Oh god, it only has iron plate. That's a problem. Yeah, so we are definitely going to build a number of those heavy cruisers, and I think we'll build 2 of the North Star class to start out with, and we'll probably keep those here closer to home. I might deploy a battleship, one of the standing battleships, out to our colonial holdings out here, if I don't already have one, which I don't believe I do. I find it very unlikely. Hell, I'm not even sure if I have a port that would support a battleship. Maybe I'm not even going to try pronouncing that right now. Over there, though, probably. Yeah, okay, so we do have a battleship over here. The Friedrich Wilhelm. Yeah, you have your issues by the looks of it. All right, well, we will build. So, looking at our finances, I want to pump our tech budget all the way. Yeesh. Uh-huh. Are we building ships? I imagine we are. I think we usually are building ships at the start. Yeah. No, we are not. We are scrapping that, and we are not building any more of these pieces of garbage. Scrap all of those. Now where are our finances at? Okay, that's a lot better. Um, We'll pump up our transport capacity a little bit as well so we can start gaining. We'll keep that around 2% so we can start growing our transport capacity and therefore boosting our economy. In the meantime, yeah, and that boosting our research allows us stuff to go a lot quicker. So we actually only have 1 month for explosives and 7 months for hull strengthening now, which is great. Shipyards will add. We'll start by adding another 500 tons to that. Every little bit helps. That should only take about 6 months. On top of that, it's the cheapest option, but I want to start expanding our shipyard size every little bit that we can. Otherwise, we're going to hamstring ourselves, and I don't want to do that. What was the other thing that I was going to do? Oh, yes. We'll probably keep this around. How many of these battleships do we actually have? We have, I think it said that we had 8 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we have 8 of these. The Nassau, accuracy penalty from sea waves minus 1.7. They have one of these defects actually improves the guns. Yay! Oh, that's still not great compared to everything else. It is a disaster. Yeah, we'll go through these and probably decommission a couple of them. For now, we'll probably keep with 8 battleships right now. We'll build a couple of the North Star class. And hopefully that doesn't put. We will start by building one of the North Star class. God, that still doesn't help. Let's see here. Can I turn this down? Okay, let's turn down our transport capacity to 1%, which is still gaining, thankfully. And hopefully our economy stabilizes and our monthly balance evens out so we can not have so many issues. In fact, we will. And then on top of that, I might start decommissioning our heavy cruiser fleet. A little bit. At least I'll probably. Let's see here. Are there any? You have some serious defects. We'll scrap you. Yeah, I think we got all of the heavy cruisers I had. Nope. Admiral Hipper, go away. How many does that leave us with? 6. So that leaves us with 6 heavy cruisers. We'll need to build more cruisers, but okay, yeah, that helped our economy quite a bit. So we'll pump that back up to 2%, and that puts us in a bit of a similar situation. We still have a lot of naval funds in reserve, so I'm not too worried about it. But let's go to the next month, and now our monthly balance has fixed itself. We are over. It's still going up. Let us see where we end up with our naval budget. Gun cotton. Alright, so nitrocellulose or gun cotton is a standard and cost-effective high-explosive material used in modern warfare and offers increased damage properties as explosive charge. I think it should say as an explosive charge, but what do I know? I didn't go to college for English. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I did, but that one semester I did was I was done with college after that. The drawback is a higher risk of detonation. That's all right. Interesting news, the Chinese Empire warns that the head of Admiralty, I can't pronounce that person's name, for his excessive naval expenditures, he may soon be replaced if he continues to underperform. Interesting indeed. We have unlocked light boilers and armor, and we have unlocked nickel steel armor. So we are going to go into our research. We are going to do hull strengthening because hull strengthening is fun. Cruiser design. We can get Wait, we don't even have light cruiser 2. Light cruiser 2. Why is it going to give us light cruiser 3? Alliance and trade agreement. So, Portugal has signed a special alliance and trade agreement with the German Empire, with us, after a long period of good relations with each other. So that enhances our economy via trade, and shared oil resources. Portugal's ports can be used as supply centers. That's nice. And I get the opportunity to sell warships to Portugal, which is another big thing. That's a way we get direct naval funds and stuff like that, and we can utilize their ships during war. So any ships that we sell them and they happen to keep around, we can use in war. So we might be in 1940 and see some of our 1930 designs, if we go that long in this campaign. That is, it could be 1914 and we're seeing ships that we built them here and now. But we'll start getting offers from them. So yeah, here they want a North Star class. Here's the problem. I don't know if I can afford to do that for you boys. After 14 months, that they're asking me, providing a total profit. That's a lot of money. I think we'll do it because they are asking this. We're going to more than double our money for this. And they're paying 25% up front. I think our economy can handle it. We definitely have the naval funds for it. And we have the dockyard space. Egypt is up in arms against the Ottoman Empire. That's great. People of Arabia. Okay, this might be why the Ottoman Empire isn't playable. Everyone wants their independence from them. West Greenland. Really? Greenland. I didn't even realize Greenland was... I didn't even realize... Alright. Well, that's quite the interesting turn of events. We'll do the destroyer hull, simply because, it's 3 months, and this will lead us to getting, like, destroyers, which I rarely ever do for reasons, but I probably should. So we'll do the destroyer design, and we'll get that in 3 months in-game. But anyways, guys, we're going to call it here. Next episode, we'll definitely work on balancing our budget a bit better. On top of that, we'll maybe start pushing... We'll maybe talk about whose buttons we are going to push first. And we might do the French, because the French have a lot of colonial holdings, but we will ultimately need to wait and see, because I also want to steal someone's oil. And honestly, that's probably going to wind up being France. So, we'll see what happens. Although India has oil. Delicious. Anyways, so, yeah. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. Lets us know that we are doing good and you guys want to see more of this game in the future. What the hell am I playing again? Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. Yeah. Let us know what you think in the comment section. And I do read the comments. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. We are still trying to get to a 500 subscriber goal. I think 300 subscribers was the goal we set for getting a public Discord server. So if you guys are interested in interacting with us, spread word of us. whether that be word of mouth or anything else. Tell your friends, your family, anyone who you think might be interested in watching us suffer on War Thunder, because that is always a fun time. But anyways, guys, hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.